Hey there friends, Dave Paulides, Can-Am Missing Project, copyrighted edition for our video channel. And this is a Skinwalker Ranch review for July 5th, 2022. And pretty interesting segment to say the least. I was kind of looking forward to this. And watched it with some friends. I can honestly say I'm surprised they didn't do some things that I'm going to talk about here in a few minutes. So when Travis started the segment, and they had a review from last week, and he said that he was watching his partners there on the mesa side of the mountain, and he saw something zip by and he felt the ground shake. That UAP, the UFO that they saw in the sky that was picked up on one frame, was amazing. I gotta say that was amazing. Now they surmised that it might have come out of the mesa, but they weren't really sure. But can you imagine how fast it must have been moving? And for Travis to say that he saw a spherical object, that is truly amazing because it only appeared on one frame in that film. That's awfully fast. So Brandon arrives at the ranch. The guys give him a summary. They explain what they want to do. Now you got to understand that rocket was probably planned for 3 or 4 months in advance to get all of the electrical oddities that they wanted on it. Very expensive venture for sure. And there was no doubt Brandon was briefed on this months ago, and it was all pre-planned, and it just showed up in time. They said it was the most expensive experiment. And as Brandon said, it's like poking the hornet's nest. I still haven't heard a mission statement or what their end goal is here. What is it? And that to me would help me understand where they're going and gauge what they're doing. So I'm a little perplexed by that. So the Rocket Boys show up. They were going to transmit 1.6 gigahertz through one of the lasers, and then drop flour as the rocket came back down. It's a level 3 rocket traveling at 400 to 500 miles an hour. They had everybody there for this. Everybody. So that means a lot of minds were working on it. And they pointed the 3 lasers in the sky. My question is, why they pointed the lasers and got them into a point below that object? I didn't quite get why they didn't point it right up to the object and see if it could penetrate it, or if it would bounce or it would bend like the other lasers did. If they hadn't done that, I would really question it. Maybe they did do it and they didn't like the results, so they didn't broadcast it. But can you imagine now they have a second shot with lasers? Why wouldn't you point them all the way up into the sky? I don't get that. So, because of the past experiences these researchers have had at the ranch, you could have guessed easily that this was going to go astray long before they did it. That first rocket exploding, you knew it was going to. They should have had a bet on this at Vegas, and I would have put $1,000 on that one of them was going to at least blow up or something odd was going to happen. Now the second rocket, I want you to sit down and think clearly about this. It was probably the biggest moment in that show all season, up to this point. That rocket firing off. Now, if I was the director, I would have had 6-8 cameras on that rocket launch. A couple of those cameras would have been FLIR cameras. Now FLIR, you can take video in FLIR, and what it does is it follows, or the colors are associated with heat. Now as you're following that rocket into the sky, the only thing putting off heat would be the rocket. Easy to track, easy to follow, easy to see. Why they didn't do that, I have no idea. Other way to photograph it is with heat or light accumulating photography through night vision. Very easily done, very accurate, very easy to follow. If you notice something, is that we never saw the rocket from the time it left to the time it went up and went off. You never saw that. You saw a simulation that cost Prometheus a lot of money, by the way. Those graphics are really expensive. But why didn't we see the whole rocket go up and go off and see where the rocket went? They didn't show that. I'm really bothered by it, and I don't understand why we didn't see it live. It's not that I'm questioning what happened, but we as the audience want to see the biggest moment in this show up to date. We want to see it live. We don't want to see a simulation. Also, to understand where the rocket went right, if it was in the same position in the sky where the lasers in an earlier show were bending, that would offer some validity that there was an object there that deflected the rocket. But they never stated where exactly in the sky this went astray. They should have been able to figure that out, and it should have been relayed. They said approximately so many feet, but they didn't give it exact. Now, I don't want to be overly critical of these people, but this is a very expensive team playing with very expensive instruments with a very expensive camera crew on site. So why didn't they use FLIR and why didn't they use night vision to follow that rocket? I don't know. It bothers me, but I don't want to beat a dead horse. We'll move on. They started to talk about portals to other dimensions. And Travis said that he wanted to center his investigations on that. I find that encouraging. As I've told you before, there are physicists around the world actively studying portals. Now, if it was me on this show, I would get Dr. John Brandenburg to come to the ranch. He's done a lot of shows for Prometheus. And since he has done a lot of research on portals, and he is a NASA consultant, and he knows about other countries' research into this topic, he'd be a perfect person for Travis to have a high-level conversation with. I have no idea what they're going to do from this point. That's what I'd do. We'll see. Now, friends, I don't want you to think in any way that I'm questioning what happened out there, because I'm not. I do know that Prometheus Entertainment, the producers of this show, have the best videographers, producers, and directors you can imagine. They're brilliant people. I've worked with them for weeks. I know. The people I was around were super smart. And the administrators now at Prometheus are equally there and want to put on a really good show for you. And like I've stated before, I have never, ever seen them want to push me in a direction of fabricating something, or ask me if we could do this or do that and fabricate. Nope, never happened. So I can only speak from my experience. Now, do I think they make mistakes? I think they're like people. They are people, and they do make mistakes. And sometimes if you don't have a lot of people that know something about a topic, something might have went astray. Maybe somebody didn't bring it up. Travis doesn't know all the ins and outs of photography. It would only be that team on the ground for Prometheus. I'm not going to second guess them. Just giving you my personal feelings about it. We have one more episode. What are they going to do? Well, if it was me, I'd keep centering on that area above the triangle and maybe try to do something at the other homestead where people have had radiation burns. Why not put some lasers right through the middle of that house? See if it's deflected off something. Talk about poking the bear. I think those lasers would do that. And again, I'm disappointed that they didn't try to further poke the bear up in the sky with those lasers. A lot of you have asked me about other shows and what do I think. I watched this show, Green Frog Ranch, for several episodes at the beginning of the year. And when they went underwater and they found this, it almost looks like a giant basket made of wood that had rocks in the middle. And they were hoping that it was gold. And one of the men dove on it several times. Didn't try to get a sample out of that little box, big box. Yet they spent days trying to think about how they could get it out. Why would you spend days thinking about how to get all these rocks out or pull this basket across the ground if all it contained was rocks? Why not get a sample? Go down there with the intent to just get a sample. And when they didn't, I turned it off. I was with some really smart people at that point, and we all came to the same conclusion simultaneously. So I don't feel bad about the decision. I don't understand. I do understand why they're making the series. I do understand that they have to make this a big mystery to carry it on. I don't understand the decision making that they've kind of followed. So that's why I'm not watching that. I also believe that on whatever project you're on, you should get the best, smartest consultants in the world there, or forget it. And I know that they've had the best at Skinwalker Ranch. I truly feel that Travis is one of the brightest guys on TV right now. And there could be a lot of issues that we don't understand they're fighting with. Maybe it's the budget. Maybe it's decision making at a higher level. Just because the owner of the ranch okays an idea, that isn't the final word. They're in a partnership with Prometheus Entertainment and the History Channel. The History Channel and Prometheus Entertainment are paying tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars per episode. And so they will tell Travis if they like an idea of his or they don't. And if they don't like an idea, it's not going to be aired, and they're not going to do it. And if it doesn't translate well to video, they're not going to do it. So even though it may seem as though we're watching the decisions being made live, they're made weeks and weeks, months ago. Like the kind of electronics on that rocket were made months ago. So I just want you to have a clear understanding of what's going on these productions. So I had a long talk this week with someone I know very well, about this hitchhiker effect. And this person said, Dave, there is no way I would go to that ranch. Same as George Knapp said, one of the reasons the other researchers from Bigelow's team wouldn't go back. They didn't want to bring those hitchhikers to their family. Understandable. So anyhow, folks, I don't want to carry this on and just drag on a video for some worthless cause. When I'm done talking, I'm done talking. And I really am done with this segment. I think I've brought in most of the big points. I don't think the cave in the mountain is going anywhere. I don't understand how it could go anywhere. And maybe they're way smarter than me. So I don't understand. That's why I'm not talking a lot about it. But anyhow, I appreciate you being here. And we got some really good videos coming. Please pass this along. Share it with your friends. Talk about it online. Have a great day. Paulides out.